All right, everyone, we are here with what would have been War 1 of Season 36, bringing back the map at a glance, but we're going to go ahead and put it at the front of the videos. If you're not interested in this part, just check the description and click the timestamp to go to the first fight of the war. So here we have Boss Island, Gallon as a boss, Tigra's your best option at the moment with the way she's functioning with the global. But there's probably an argument for Blade with Stark, Spider-Man, Synergy, and then maybe one of the Mystics that doesn't fully rely on just Nullify or Fate Seal. So Symbiote Supreme might be decent if he can get by with Stagger only. Maw back there, could use Doom, Mr. Negative. Cersei, Tigra, you could use any of the sick and tired defenders or attackers. Just have to play around her glancing buff. Doom there, pretty complicated. Maybe Archangel with a white Magneto pre-fight. Hulkbuster, Hyperion's probably going to be your top option. Hulkling, Tigra, a couple of the other Mystic options as well. Like Doom would probably work since you'll be firing specials like crazy. Mojo, maybe a Rolk or Anti-Venom without Dexterity on, and then Kingpin without Dexterity on, and then Gore there. You've got Tigra, you've got Hood, you've got a few options. You just need a very reliable Neutralize or Stagger or Nullify. And then looking at 1 through 3 in Section 2, nothing too crazy there to really point out. Forgot to mention earlier that Apocalypse, S99, and Ghost were banned. So looking at 4 through 6 in Section 2, nothing problematic really that stands out. And then looking at the mini-boss or the shared fight going into 7 through 9, again, nothing problematic on either of those nodes as well. King Groot maybe could be complicated, but then again, Tiger kind of exists, and then you could probably just get away with using one of the sick and tired and just doing most of your damage during the healing phase. And then taking a look at middle mini bosses, Penny could use Mr. Negative, maybe get away with Magneto, and then Mordo, you've got Archangel, you could maybe get away with Anti-Venom. 1 through 3 in Section 1, again, nothing really too problematic there that stands out either. And then 4 through 6, again, nothing that we haven't seen. Same goes for 7 through 9. That Sinister, you could use Warlock, or you could use Mysterio for the passive heal block. Or you could just use a champion that doesn't crit, like Silver Centurion. And then, yeah, I mean, Misty there, you're going to want a white Magneto pre-fight, and we've seen that void almost every season on that node. All right, now, so for War Attack, we got Made in Brazil. Today I'll be taking in Warlock, Shang-Chi, and Mr. Negative. I've got Path 9 in Section 1, Path 4 in Section 2, and I've got a mini-boss on Boss Island. Now, as you know, this war got canceled, doesn't actually count, but everything got placed as if it was an in-season war. So I actually asked to bring in Shang-Chi to kind of test out Path 9, even though it's not in the most ideal conditions. That Misty Knight on the second node, I'd really want a white Magneto pre-fight for in the future. But I was most interested in this void here, and luckily it is a rank 4 void. So we're taking this with Shang-Chi. Our main priority here, and for most Shang-Chi fights, are focusing on one Wushu the entire fight and then doing the heavy reset. So cleanse, parry, should be heavy reset, and then rinse and repeat. And that's the whole game plan for the entire fight. Boosted, you saw me medium boost. Even though this war didn't count, I didn't want to die. I just wanted a real practice as if we were in season. And so far it's going really well. taking minimal damage from debuffs, getting them shrugged before they're actually a problem. Saw there I tried a risky heavy, didn't practice that before going in, so we lost a chunk of damage there. But fight is pretty safe. I'm glad I tested it. I'm glad I asked to bring this in. It is definitely a viable option in future wars. Now, Misty Knight here is the reason, or sorry, following that Shang-Chi principle that I told you about, which was not wanting to focus on more than one Wushu in a fight. That is the reason I wanted the White Magneto pre-fight here. I wanted to reliably get the slow Wushu placed, and because it's only 2 hits, I don't have to worry about the debuffs I'd gain. I can get the cleanse up in time without her evading to shrug any debuffs that I get. Power Focus 1, so very easy to just bait Special 1 and then go in and trigger a Wushu if it's good to go. Saw there my stun got shrugged. But yeah, there's a lot of risk here if I don't have a slow debuff on, and if I can't consistently place it or safely place it in her evading while I'm trying to complete the cleanse Wushu or even a Special 2. So ends up not being that big of a deal here. We had a slow shrugged and we had a stun shrugged, but we still managed to solo the fight with minimal damage. So not topping off in fights, so we're avoiding the potion use. I do not mind using these boosts. We're going to meet him boost the whole fight or whole war. And we've got plenty of crystals and stuff in the bank. So spam here on Footloose, Shang-Chi. We do have a White Magneto pre-fight. We are going to focus on the slow Wushu the entire time until we're ready for Special 2. And then right before dropping Special 2, we're going to make sure to do the Cleanse Wushu to remove any debuffs that we might have on us. And then drop the big Special 2. So he's playing nice here. He's actually using Special 1 pretty much immediately after I heavy him. And I believe this 4th time here, he's not going to do it, which is unfortunate. And you can see how this fight will start to go south here when he just decides not to throw a special attack. So I decide, hey, let's go ahead and try and finish this. There's the cleanse. Now I know he's going to end up throwing Special 2s. This is going to consistently put him at Special 1. I have to get the slow Wushu on. So we didn't necessarily have to parry, but we ended up doing so anyways. And between the Special 2 and the parries, we are constantly pushing him to Special 2. There I should have went stun to slow and then knocked him out with a Special 2. We just got lucky that he didn't throw Special 3. Now, I was originally signed Quake for this Manthing, and I opted for Mr. Negative since this war doesn't count, so that I can take a mini boss that I suspected could be taken with Mr. Negative. So Manthing here is a joke. This is a pretty easy Mr. Negative fight. We're not going to use a PS1. We're just actually going to end up with more dark energy than we normally would in a fight before dropping Special 2. So 3 parry heavies, dash back, bank the fury, block bait, and attack from Man-Thing so that we can evade counter without him throwing a special attack and us going over the 9 light energy. And then after that, we're going to bait out his Special 1 or go back to parry heavies. Actually, does not matter which one. He throws the special attack right away. So now we're going to go back to parry heavies. We're going to stop doing parry heavies right before he gets the Special 1 or while he's at it. Bait this out, evade counter, build to the Special 2, and drop it. And away he goes. So on the node, the max debuffs we get are 2 unless we manage to get hit, and he has Resonate on. But as you saw, we didn't get hit, so we don't have to worry about it. So easy fight for Mr. Negative. This Warlock against Havok fight, this is, I only did small boosts here just to illustrate kind of a point. Power back boosts are going to be pretty rich this season, so they're going to be pretty important. There's a chance they could get very scarce, so you're going to need to start looking at options where you don't use the power back boosts or you don't have them available. So I'm going to play this Havok how I would with Warlock without power back boosts, and that's utilizing the special 3, but it's also block baiting heavies constantly and sticking to 3-hit combos. Now, the reason I'm sticking to 3-hit combos instead of 4 or 5 is that I reduce the number of hits that crit within a combo, therefore controlling the amount of prowess he gain or plasma charges he gains from me hitting him. And then since I'm block baiting attacks or heavies, his medium non-contact hit is going to power drain him and remove any plasma that he actually gains from my combo. And when he's below a bar of power, I'm going to dash back so that he has to throw the medium. When he's at a bar of power, I'm going to immediately block so that he doesn't throw special 1. And then I'm going to repeat this process to special 3 like I just did. And then special 3, I'm going to come out with my block up, make him come attack me as he gets power drained from the special 3. And then, of course, takes a bunch of degen damage. And I just rinse and repeat this tactic. This keeps it from ever getting the plasma debuff on me, the plasma buildup debuff, and therefore prevents Havok from ever going unblockable. It is, of course, a longer fight compared to just 2 back-to-back special 2s with power back boosts, but, you know, pretty safe. As long as you're on your toes about getting out of heavy attacks, you're good to go. And obviously we're baiting his special 2, not his special 1. And there I knew the special 2 was going to finish it, so pretty easy, pretty straightforward fight for Warlock. And then moving on to our final fight, I wanted to test out Mr. Negative against this Maw on AoE. In duels, I realized the game plan for Maw did not need to be the usual Mr. Negative game plan where I parry heavy until I get enough light and then evade, counter, and rinse and repeat. I'm actually going to parry heavy once to take him out of focus. And then from here, I'm going to try to parry heavy, or I'm going to try to parry and get room for a combo, or bait out a heavy attack and get room for a combo. Push him to special 1, bait that out, gradually build this light energy as we're trying to get it out. Use a heavy to make him lose focus again, evade, counter to bank that light energy, and do somewhat the exact same thing on the back end. So there's the heavy. Now we're going to try and bait out a special 1, which he throws immediately. There's that heavy. We're going to evade, counter here and combo into special 2. And then the dot damage here from the special 2 at max boosts will finish him. But since we're not max boosted and it is a rank 4, we're just going to kind of help that DOT, and down Maw goes pretty easily. So it's a pretty good war for me, testing things out, brought 2 rank 4s. Obviously the fight or the war didn't matter, but we did end up winning, and therefore for some reason our rating went up. But yeah, that was War 1 technically of Season 36. What we're looking at for New Nation is that we're not technically pushing this season. We are going to decide when we have our matchup whether we are going to push the war or not push the war. So we have wars this season where we are going to take them casually, not to tank, not by any means to tank. We want to stay in tier 1, but we want to have a bit of an easier season since it's not as lucrative to try to get top 3 with the way rewards stand. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit subscribe, like, follow, and share, and I will catch you guys at the next war.